7th, 8th grade class?
I think
I was a student in the 7th grade.
You were a student. I know what you were like too.
Yeah.
You know? All right, listen. If you've ever been in a 7th, 8th grade class, then you'll know exactly the value, you know, of what Lorenzo is going to talk about. Go ahead.
Again, I'm Lorenzo. I'm the founder of Education Every Time. What we do is we make music to improve schools. What we focus on is mundane activities that are really boring for students and difficult for teachers to manage. With our music, we take these boring activities, we make them more fun for students, which gives the teacher more time to teach and provides more learning in the classroom. What we have so far is over $11,000 in revenue. We have 75% of our current customers using this music every single day in their classroom. We have a strong management team. I was a former teacher, and I also put my hands in the content with writing most of the songs. My other member of our team is also a former teacher, and he works on the product development side. We also have expert advisors in both the education and music industry. If any of you heard of the KIP network, which is the largest charter network in the country, the founder is on our board of directors. Also, the executive director of Rave Music, which recently Kids Bop 28 is number 3 on the Billboard charts. He's on our board of directors as well. And we also have really great results. So our first pilot school, we gave them 13.8 days of additional learning without changing the school year whatsoever. Right? So that's 300 kids with about 3 weeks of additional learning time. So how do we do this? The way that we do it is easy as 1, 2, 3. Right, 3-step process. So first, for an activity like this that's really boring for kids leaving class, what the teacher would do is play a karaoke video of this song called In Line, right? And the kids like reading along with it, and they get some kind of reading exercise as well, and the song plays, and they want to hear it over again. The second thing, which is very key, is the teachers actually act out this situation so that students can see exactly how it needs to be executed. This is very helpful, even from my perspective as a teacher, because we can stop the video and go over things that are really important. It doesn't differ from teacher to teacher who's presenting because the video is consistent. The third thing you do is play the music from our platform and allow the kids to practice, right? So on a given day, it will take maybe anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes for the kids to understand and get the process done in the amount of time that the song is. And then after that, you come in the next day, you literally push play, right? Every time you want kids to line up, push play, push play, push play, and they're doing it in a way shorter amount of time, and they're having fun, and it's easy for the teacher. These are our results. So our first school that we piloted is a Metropolitan Lighthouse Charter School in the Bronx, New York. If you see here, we broke up the school into the lower school and the upper school. The gray bars show you what the times were without our music. So we're spending about a half an hour on about 7 or 8 routines. With our music, we just did this data aggregation a couple weeks ago. We're cutting that time in half, right? So if you aggregate the numbers for both the upper and lower school in this one building, we're saving them about half an hour a day, which when you multiply that times the number of days in the school year, that's 90 additional hours, or like I mentioned, about 3 weeks of additional learning time. When we first went out to do this with the school, our goal was 10 days. The reason why our goal was 10 days is because studies show that an extra 10 days of school is better than changing the teacher. It's better than taking some kids out of the classroom. It's also better than having a kid repeat a year and do the same grade again, right? So 10 was our goal, and we surpassed it. If you think about the potential of something like this, for these students that are in kindergarten, this school obviously loves our product. For a student like this that's in kindergarten, who have access to this type of music all the way through their K through 12 career, that turns into about 180 days over their elementary school cycle, right? Which is the same as a whole additional year of school, right? So if you could send your kid to a school that's 180 days long, or you could send them to another school that's the same amount, but the kids at school A are learning twice as much, you would definitely pick the first school. Why is this important? What most people don't know is that with all the reforms and everything that are going on in our country, the United States is now number 2 in terms of teaching hours, right? They should probably be exercising more, right? But we're putting all these hours towards teaching, right? We're number 2. But we're still way down here in math, right? And way down here in reading. Why is that? 40% of teachers admit that they spend more than half of their class just trying to manage the kids, right? So that's why this is important. This is how we're going to be able to compete with other countries, is by taking that time and not wasting it telling kids to be quiet or telling kids to stand up and leave the classroom, right? That's what's happening in schools today. Our current model, we're charging $5 a month. We have over 100 users. 40% of them are paying users, and 75% of them use it every single day. All that we offer right now through a web application is access to the music and the ability to create customizable playlists. Outside of that, we upload features just to try out and beta test. Based on our test, this would be our model for our version 2.0. We would offer the music for free so teachers can access it and try it out. One of the most important things from our user feedback is this feature right here, access to playlists offline. Schools and their connectivity to the internet differ from school to school, and that's really important for a teacher to have. So based on our data, this is a really good price point for that feature. What I described to you in the 3-step process includes the videos, and that would be our premium model. The videos are really key. So when I came up with this about 3 or 4 years ago, it's like this 9-step process that takes this all-star teacher to execute, right? And so the videos are really, really valuable for the teachers. In our beta testing, we had about 4 or 5 teachers not using it at all, just because they didn't want to go through the process. Once we had the videos, out of the 3 schools that we worked with, 2 in Chicago and 1 in the Bronx, only 1 teacher doesn't use the music, and it's because he's the PE teacher, and he says, I can't keep plugging in the speaker and plugging in the speaker, but even he said he would pay money for it, right? So 100% of our beta testers say they would pay some type of money for our product. 55% of those users said they would pay more than $4. Teachers are spending money, right? So this is the big thing, especially if you're not in education, try to get you to understand. I spend more money as a teacher than I'm proud of. I also got $1,000 a year from my principal to buy any items that I thought were useful for my classroom. So when you look at the market across the country, teachers are spending about $3.2 billion. Half of that's coming out of their own pocket, and half of that's coming out of a school fund. When you break that down by a month, they're spending about $80. Right now, all this stuff, it's just fun stuff, right? Some extra colors for an activity, some rulers, because we don't have any rulers. It's not really textbooks and things that are mandated by the principal or the administration. Our product is something that you would use every day for a real significant problem that teachers have, right? And they're already spending $80. We're asking for $5. $5 for something that's going to save time and make your job easier and also be fun for the students. We have multiple revenue streams. So the revenue stream I've been focusing on is the subscription. Right now, our biggest stream is consulting at about 60%. These are about even in our first year. We believe we can kind of turn this trend a little bit. This one will probably still be the most important one because this product is so innovative. It does take some hands-on training for the teachers, at least in the first year or so. The way that we want to convert this subscriptions to a higher percentage of our revenues is by our version 2.0. So all the data that we've collected about the features that the teachers want. We have also in development a remote control so teachers can move around the room and play it from their mobile devices instead of standing at the computer. So all of the data will get us to be able to get this revenue stream higher, because this is the one that we want high because it's automated. Another thing that we've done is isolated over 15 educational conferences across the nation, which will give us access to over 1 million teachers. So that's another way we would be on the ground selling the product. We're asking for $500,000. Basically, our biggest 2 expenses are product development and personnel. I won a seed fund competition in New Orleans for 50 grand, so that's how we got the money to do the beta. Our version 2.0, we already have a company that put a bid in for $90,000 on the desktop application and the Bluetooth remote control, so we're coming in low on these numbers. The little bit of extra money that we would use from the product development end would be to take our web app and to put in some of the features that teachers are already asking for so that we can continue to generate revenues while we're building the second version. Other expenses include travel and sales, like the educational conferences and going school to school. Media production is very low. So that's another thing we have a competitive advantage at. I shoot all the videos, I edit all the videos, I write all the songs, I record all the songs. I understand I can't do that forever, but for right now, especially in the first and second year, that keeps costs significantly low. The only thing I pay for in terms of media is $100, and that's just for mixing and mastering, so that's studio quality music. I'm the founder. I have 4 years teaching experience. I call myself a behavior management expert only because the first school I taught in was all boys. The first KIPP school that was all boys, which had never been done before. It's 99% Black and Hispanic boys. So it was definitely a behavior management test for me. But I did have several mentors along the way who not only worked with me developing this product, but just worked with me on how to manage behavior, period. So I've gotten really good at it, and a lot of that is infused in this product, and a lot of good practices that people have been doing for years are part of what we're doing. I'm a 13-year songwriter and recorder as well, and I've been doing that for a long time. That's why I have connections in the industry, because I used to be an artist that these guys wanted to sign, and now they're just trying to invest in my company, which is fun. My co-founder, or my partner Spence, he's a master's degree in teaching. He has previous startup experience with a company called Connect Ed, which brings in outside mentors into the school. He also has development and design knowledge. He mocks up all of our websites, all of our applications and everything, so the developers don't have to do that, which they're not really good at design, so it's good for him to do that. These are a couple of my students from the big idea that we won back in March. More time, more fun, more learning. Our valuation right now is, I'll tell you the reasoning behind it, so it's not confusing. But on Gust and Angel's List, they aggregated any startup that's pre-revenue, right? So we're post-revenue, but any startup that's pre-revenue is anywhere from 1.5 to 3 million, right? We're post-revenue, and I happen to value our company, right, a little bit more than a pre-revenue company, so we're right at 2.5 million. We're looking for 500,000, so that would be about a 20% equity stake. And if you look back on the slide for our projections, year 4 would be the year we can do a payout of about 3 times, and if you wait till year 5, we could do a payout of about 6 times your initial investment. Thank you, guys.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, and we're going to transition here to, we're going to ask behavior management here. So if you got some music here, we can.
I have some on the site. We can definitely pull up some.
Okay. We got a behavioral problem in the room here.
The song will be invest, invest, invest.
Okay.
We need motivational music then.
We're letting him choose what it is. Okay, we're going to transition.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff on the tables and underneath the tables maybe that people might need to clean up. You know, you can use one of our songs called Clean Up Song. There you go.
Go ahead. We're going to.
So these are all the songs to get the kids to do what you
Yeah, so
said.
this song is for 100 students in the cafeteria. The song will come on, students stand up, they start cleaning up their things. There's no talking by the teachers, there's no yelling and screaming. Yeah, it goes all in the back.
Okay, now what you have are being passed out right now. We're transitioning to this. What I'd like to do is we'll do a short due diligence exercise. So what I'd like to do is take, let's see, Maki, if you'd move over here. Mike, from Mike up to here, you guys are a group. Steve down to.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
I don't pay the dog exercise.
Angela down to River, a group.
No exercise.
And the rest of you guys on the wall group. So everybody, what we're going to do is this. Take a look at the sheet of paper. We want to give Lorenzo some feedback now on some initial due diligence items here. And so this is going to substitute for Q&A. Individually, write down 3 strengths you see in this company. And just put it down on there. Write down 3 or more weaknesses. Sir?
This company here.
Yes, sir, this one here. And then into 3 or more issues related to some type of concern you might have about the company. So do this individually, and I'll give you like a minute or 2 to do that. And then I'm gonna have you kind of huddle. And over on this side would be Ed, Vinny, and Courtney, and then let's see, maybe Andy.